Epic Universe first opened, we were blown away. A year later, after a second visit, we have a much clearer picture of what's great, what's overhyped, and what you absolutely cannot miss. Katie's putting Charles and I on the spot today. She wants our honest takeaways a full year after Epic Universe opened, what held up, what surprised us, and what we do differently. And we're telling every single client who asks about visiting Universal right now. So stay with us because this one gets very specific. Welcome back to Earstravagant Adventures. I'm your host and travel agent bestie, Rachel, and joining me, as always, is Katie, our
Hi.
your favorite travel chaos coordinator. And today, Charles is joining us. He is to talk all things epic. He has also been twice, so we are very excited for that. From experiencing the parks during previews, during before opening, to going back again this month,
Yeah.
yes, this month. Um, we are diving into all things epic, and Katie's going to interview us today, and I have Toothless along for the ride. So, Katie, hit us up.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
First things first, what everybody wants to know is does it live up to the hype? So y'all got to go for previews. Rachel, you went in the fall as well. Charles, y'all just went, this month. Does it live up to the hype?
I think it is better than the hype. I don't know. What do you think, Charles?
Oh, absolutely. I think it lives up to the hype. And it exceeded my expectations when I first went. And my our second visit just, was a few weeks ago. It pretty much confirmed. Like it's a great park.
It's a great perk.
Do you think that it has changed the way people plan Universal vacations? I do,
Oh,
and I
for
haven't
sure.
been. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because I think it's only one park, but I feel like you need more time here. What do you think, Charles?
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think plus the logistics wise, that that all plays a factor, and I'm sure we'll answer some of those questions too, like in terms of where to stay and proximity. But yeah, it's a game changer to me, in my opinion. It's an absolute game changer.
Are y'all recommending longer stays because of Epic? Like,
For sure. Yeah, I don't think a week. I don't think it's like Disney, we for comfortable Disney trips, we like to say, 7 days is good. I don't think you need 7 days. But if you're just going for like a holiday weekend, absolutely not. I mean, can you do it? Yes. Are you gonna hate your life and wish you had more time? Absolutely yes.
like
Yeah, I think that I, you really could do 2 days at Epic for your stay. You can
Minimum.
the minimum
mhm.
to get the
Hmm.
most out of it. And then even if you're on a 3 day kind of like, okay, I can only do 3 days at the parks. Like I wouldn't blame anyone if they did two at Epic and one at the OG parks and just did one
Yeah.
day. That good.
How and I this is like my number one question. How does Epic make you feel about Disney Universal split stays now?
Like
They
this is so hard for me because I am a self-proclaimed not Universal lover. I'm a Harry Potter lover, but like Universal is not where I spend a lot of my time. I still think you could do a split stay, but you're going to be compromising in both places. You're going to be compromising in Disney and you're going to be compromising in Universal. So if you want to do them properly, no. No, you can't do a split stay properly because
properly.
you're gonna miss out on some things at Disney if you do a split stay, and you're gonna miss out on things at Universal.
And the trip Charles just did was a Disney Universal split stay. But it
But
was
it
a
was a
long trip,
long trip.
correct?
Mhm.
How long,
We
Charles?
were six, five, six, Tuesday to Sunday was Disney, and then Sunday to Saturday was Universal. So it
Yeah.
was a long, long trip. Yep.
Mhm.
Most
Mhm.
people don't have time to do a trip that
Yeah,
long.
they don't have to. It was like because we knew, because we knew we would have the work trip for the fam trip for us. And then I kind of just we built our stay around that. So we're like, okay, we're going this week. Do I want to do Disney before or after? We were trying to like weigh out the weather and to trying to have it not as beast hot. So we did Disney
Yeah.
before. So like we just tacked it on, and it was only supposed to be a few days, and it kind of just grew into a
Great.
longer stay. And I was just like, wow, we're here for almost 2 weeks in Florida. So yeah, it
Well,
was.
because you had that FOMO. And that's where I find when I'm planning with clients that want to do a split stay, they have that FOMO. Like as you dive deeper into the planning, you realize if I don't extend this trip, I'm going to miss out on this.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And even with our long stay now, we still feel like we didn't get everything done. So it's, especially because my first time, my wife and son were at Universal, and they feel like they didn't get to do everything at Epic. And so yeah, it's tough. And I think that with split stays, it is a tough question to answer, like what Rachel, bouncing off of what Rachel was saying. But I also think that like it depends on what your focus is on that can make it worth it. Because I think if you really want to do Epic, like if your sole purpose to go to Universal is to check out Epic Universe, then staying at one of the hotels that are close, or aka inside Epic, can be absolutely worth doing the split stay, because
Mhm.
you are maximizing your experience in terms of proximity, and just time wise, it makes it smart. So it can be. It just depends on what you're looking for out of your Universal stay.
What your goals are for your vacation. Excuse me. So, Epic was supposed to be the most immersive theme park ever. Like that was the whole thing. Does it feel all day immersive to you guys, especially compared to the older Universal parks?
The portals are a game changer, man. That absolutely makes it feel immersive because the Celestial Park, I think they could still do some work on Celestial Park. I think there's still some storytelling that can happen there, and that's fine. But the fact that you are entering into a gateway to these places, and the gateways themselves, they're aside from the Super Nintendo one, that one's really cool. But they're kind of like just a big doorway basically, but it is a nice separation. Like our big complaint with Universal and Islands of Adventure is this all these IPs are just smushed all together and there's no continuity is not the right word, but it just is kind of a
Division.
mess.
There's no division
Yeah,
between.
yeah, it's kind of a mess. So these portals serve a purpose and it's a game changer and it's more immersive than the Disney parks because it's an experience walking into each one.
What land feels the most immersive to you once you're actually through the portal?
It's tough because they all do a great job. I
Mhm.
think if you're talking about most immersive, I think it's Nintendo World. But I don't know if that's my childhood self being biased, because seeing it's literally you're stepping into a video game in terms of how it's done, the lighting, the colors, the sounds. I know it's loud, but it's loud on purpose. And if I'm
Not
trying
on
to
purpose.
improve, like I know it's a big sensory kind of shock to you when you go in there, because it can be overwhelming. But if I'm talking about like what do I feel the most like, oh my God, I think it's Nintendo World. And if you're talking about just
Like the most transported. Like, okay, so let's talk about, Galaxy's Edge. When Galaxy's Edge first opened, you walked in and you felt like you were in another planet, right? Which portal at Universal makes you feel that way?
I
Like
mean,
you have
I
stepped into another world.
I agree. I agree with Charles, but like I'm torn between Isle of Berk and Super Nintendo.
I
that's
really
what
thought y'all were going to say Alaberg.
Well,
yeah.
because
Like I
Super
thought that's what y'all
Nintendo,
were going
like,
to say.
it has the best portal entrance, first of all, because it pulls you into a dang tunnel. Like, it makes the
Mhm.
noise, it's green, and then everything around you is Super Nintendo. So, like, in terms of immersion, yeah, it kind of is Super Nintendo. In terms of, like, I've never seen this before, Isle of Berk, but I don't know. This is
Like a
my
toss up between
it
those
it is
two.
it is
Yeah.
really hard, and I
Yeah.
think Super Nintendo just edges it out a little bit more because like the Power Up Band thing I think is what takes it to the next level because you can interact more with the
Yeah.
land than you can with
Mhm.
Isleberg.
Yeah, yeah. If you were, that's what the two portals that I would say it comes
Yeah.
down to. Absolutely agree. I think that if you're talking about most immersive, I would have to go by hair with Nintendo World. But, and I've said this, my favorite portal is Isle of Berg because I think it's just so well done. And if you're going beyond immersiveness, if you're talking about like quality in terms of what it offers, it's just it's gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's yeah, masterfully well done.
Is there a land that you expected to love and just ended up disappointing you? Like, did not match up with what you thought it was going to be?
Celestial Park. Like I I just I walk in there and I'm like I don't want to say the Wizarding World of Harry Potter because after my second visit there, I did like it more. I went the first time I was there, it was raining and I was in a bad mood.
Mm.
So like take a step back, Rachel, we were in a bad mood. Um so like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter does need some more work, I will say that. Like you can tell it's built for expansion. But Celestial Park, like what's going on here?
Well,
What
you don't ride Stardust, so it's hard.
Okay, but that's a ride. I'm talking about like immersion and like everything. Like I'm not talking about the rides. I'm talking about just like walking around and being impressed by what's surrounding
Gotcha.
me.
I think for me, if I was gonna specifically say what like give it a time frame, I think Celestial Park at night is when it shines. And it's a shame that the park closes so like it's not open later than what it
Yeah.
is because you could take advantage of a lot of stuff at
It needs
Celestial
like one more hour. Come on.
Park.
Close
Yeah.
at
Just
10, not 9.
Yeah.
one night a week where they stay open or later, like
Later.
just a
Yeah.
couple nights. Like it doesn't have to be every night, but
I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
agree.
that's the thing. Because during the day, yeah, there's not much there, but like literally when the sun goes down, lights come off, lights come on at that park. It's a changer. In terms of a portal that I was let down on, and I feel the same from last year. I think it's Dark Universe.
Hmm,
Now
really?
I haven't been in there at nighttime. Again, this is because it's supposed to be like if I'm thinking Dark Universe, I picture something similar to how Universal executes Halloween Horror Nights. Maybe to
Mm.
that grand scale because like you want to keep it still for like kids accessible. And if you're having like scare zones throughout the whole portal, like it's not gonna work. But like I just kind of feel like there should have been more to it. And
I don't
it's
know. I was happy with Dark Universe because I was worried about being scared. So when I walked in and I'm like, okay, there's gonna be the Invisible Man walking around. I'm gonna be scared. I don't want to go in here. So for
Yeah.
me, I thought it was great because I was like, oh, I can go in here and not like be stressed out that I'm gonna get scared. That's such different takes. But I also
It's
don't go.
two opposite perspectives. Like I want
Yeah,
it to be like I'm like on the Halloween Horror Night kind of
yeah.
expectation, and you're like, no,
Hmm.
please.
Yeah,
So
no,
No,
I was
yeah,
like
don't look
so
at me.
nervous to walk in there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I can handle this.
yeah.
That's
Um,
hilarious, Charles.
which area do you think families with kids gravitate more towards?
I think it's also our favorite portals. I think it's a toss up between Isle of Berk and Super Nintendo.
Yeah, yeah.
Slightly edged out with Super Nintendo because the kids can like bang on stuff.
Mhm.
And run, free
Yeah.
roam. Like we
Yeah.
love a free roam area. Yeah.
Which can be kind of annoying as, someone also like this is hard. As an adult wanting to experience these things too, like it's the same with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. You can't shove a kid out of the way. You also like kids don't understand that
Do
adult
your magic. Get out of here, kid. I
Well,
need to
I don't
go.
do that, but like I do wait my turn, but then like kids don't always realize that adults want to do these things too, so they try and like slide in front of you and then like
That's a parenting problem.
okay.
That's not a kid problem. Kids are innocent,
Right, like because
as
kids
a
don't
parent.
understand. Kids think
Yeah.
this is a kid thing, so why would an adult
Yeah.
be waiting to No, I'm not mad at the kids, but like I'm
Yeah.
waiting in line to like do my thing and this kid like I want to play
Yeah, I
too.
know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, but the parent should be there to say, no, look, there's a line. There's ugh, pet peeve of mine. Pet
Because
peeve.
Charles Grayson spent most of his time in Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah, they went to Albert first.
Hmm.
Because I told her like later in the days it dies down a little bit at Nintendo World. So they went to Albert first and they did stuff there, but like he it didn't like that IP doesn't stick to him
Mm.
as much as I've tried. I've really tried. So like at eventually he got bored and he wanted to go to Nintendo World. And maybe part of it is because like he knows that Super Nintendo World is there, so he's just kind of like, I want to go. So like he doesn't want to stay anywhere else. But yeah, he gravitated to Super Nintendo World, and he they were there for pretty much most of the time, and they could have used a lot more time. So that just goes to show, like for kids, they really could kill like the whole day there if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Hmm. Let's talk about Charles's favorite thing, attractions, the rides.
I
All
love
right.
attractions too. Why you say that?
Because I was going to say your favorite thing was the food, but both of y'all are ride and food people. Like that is
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Charles and
and
I
actually,
align on park stuff, okay? He
all
eats
three
more
of
than
Yeah.
us.
me. He eats more than me, but also,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got distracted. Now I don't know
sorry.
where I was. What attraction still feels worth the hype a year later? Like, what attraction are you like, this is the best, hands down? I already know Charles. I know what he's going to
Go
Yeah,
say.
ahead,
you know,
Charles.
Stardust Racers. And it made me feel good because Heather came with, and that she loved it too. It's it. I think what helps, what makes it, what separates it is when you're in the queue, it's been consistent at all three times I've ridden it, is the energy in that queue is amazing. Everyone is excited. They are like full of like high energy, like let's go, let's go. Like even when you know me, like I when it comes to coasters and stuff like that, I'm high energy. I'm yelling and I'm screaming, and I will like it will be done the ride, and I'll be like yelling like, yeah, best ride at Epic, and people will cheer, and like people in line will cheer and yell back at me and say, yeah, let's go. So like that adds to the experience, and it's just that when
Mm.
it's, especially when it's at night, like I say it again, if Celestial Park was just open, like if that park, no, as a whole was just open an extra hour at night, it would contribute so much to it because everyone knows how great of a ride Stardust Racers is also at night, and it's gorgeous, high energy. So that still is my number one. But like the other rides there too, and I'm sure Rachel will have her pick. But like so many great rides there, despite the height requirements, like they are top notch, top notch.
I think Monsters Unchained was really good. Their animatronics are amazing, and we have all collectively complained about Universal's heavy reliance on 4D screens. But I will
Yes.
say the quality of these 4D screens is almost like real life. It
Yeah,
is so crispy. It's like 4K, 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 4K. So the improvement of the screens is very helpful, but then they're using them less. They're still using them, but they're using them less. So that is really nice. So Monsters Unchained was, I think, still worth the hype. Yeah.
Are there any rides that y'all feel are just overrated, or you're already like, I don't have to do that again?
I know what Charles is going to say, and I disagree. So go ahead.
yeah. I said it last year on the pod. I still think, um if you're a diehard, if you grew up on Mario Kart and that is your thing, and if you didn't listen to my whole spiel last year when we were doing the pod, go back and listen to the whole thing. But it's just it doesn't live up to what the game is, and I tried to now knowing that like full having the prior experience from last year and knowing that okay, this is what it is. I enjoyed it as much as I could. Like it's a shooter game. So I'm gonna just concentrate on doing the shooter stuff. So it's fine in that aspect. Then at the same time, there were issues with when we went on. So I don't know if that is a common thing with that ride where there are glitches with the technology and the visors. So I don't know, but like as a shooter, it's fine. But it's never going to be what, in my point of view, what it could have been or should have been. So it's always going to be disappointing. But it's still like, if my son loved it, they went on it like two or three times, I think. So you don't know any better, obviously. Like if you're a kid, you're
Yeah.
just there for like
Yeah.
to have fun.
Rude. A
You're
kid,
gonna
an
love.
adult. Hello.
I apologize. But yeah, but like I
We
know a lot of people like me too who wanted like a racer, like high, racing
Mhm.
type of ride, but that's not what it is.
Mhm.
I think I don't think it's overhyped. I do think for the wait time it's overhyped, and I do think it does have a lot of tech issues, but like for a fun good time, I think it's a fun good time. I think Battle of the Ministry is overhyped. Like,
Really?
I mean,
For the wait time.
first of all,
Yeah.
first of all, that story is not canon. Don't even get me started on that stupid storyline. That stupid storyline. Okay? The animatronics are great, but the ride breaks down often, and it really is just like the ride vehicle is like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, if we're being honest. And it
Mhm.
just moves you along screens. Like Gringotts does more movement than this does.
Gringotts is one of the best rides in the world, hands down. Like, I mean, I will die on that hill
But
about
like
Gringotts.
Gringotts does have a physical drop.
Yes.
And Battle of the Ministry has a screen drop. So if you close your eyes,
Like Mickey and Minnie in the Waterfall?
yeah. That's
It's
what
a
I'm saying.
ripoff.
Like it's like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because it doesn't really the ride itself doesn't really do anything. It's the screens and stuff.
Yeah.
And for the wait time, like going, because
Yeah,
you can
that wait
go
time.
through, yeah, you can go through the flu
Mhm.
without waiting in line. And that's like what a lot of people do. And like you can experience most of the queue, well, the cool parts of the queue without riding the ride. So like if that's really what you want, you can go
Yeah.
in without that.
Yeah. Just do that and then
Yeah.
just leave.
I
Hmm.
hate the
Hmm.
storyline though. Like I texted my friend who's a really big Harry Potter fan, and I was like, the ride was cool. We're not talking about the story, right? And she's like, oh no, we're not talking about the story.
Well, you know me. I don't care about canon. Just write
That's
whatever you
fair.
want to. I don't care.
That's fair.
What do you think will become the iconic Epic Universe ride long term? Like
I mean, it's Stardust Racers, but it's
Stardust.
not. But
Yeah.
Stardust Racers isn't inclusive.
Yeah.
Is the problem?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's
That's why it's tough to answer. Like,
yeah,
I would say if you're an adult, I would say Stardust Racers, but so many families
See,
are going to gravitate to Nintendo World. So like maybe it's always going to be like Bowser's Challenge or like something there. So it's tough to answer. That's tough to
hmm
answer.
but even as a coaster adult, y'all know I have not been to Epic yet. That's why I'm asking the questions because I have not been.
hmm
But I am a coaster adult, but I am not a Velocicoaster adult. It scares me. I will never do it again. And Stardust is so similar to
Very
Velocicoaster.
similar.
So, like, it's just
Well, I mean, I feel like Islands of
weird.
Adventure, their iconic coaster is Velocicoaster or Hagrid's, and
Hagrid's.
Universal, their iconic coaster, well, was Rip Ride Rocket, but that's gone now. So who knows what it'll be. But like I feel like the iconic coasters are the big ones. But
Mm,
for me, what Epic is iconic for is the immersion. So like for
mm,
me, it's not about the attractions, it's about everything else that you can do. Like the casting spells, the power-up bands, meeting Toothless, the character interactions, the random characters that pop up. Like I've talked about this on one of my stories. I found the portrait of Celestina, what is her name? Celestina Trelawney.
that's the one.
Well, her
Mhm.
Trelawney, so Professor
Lonnie's the
Trelawney's great 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 grandmother,
Mhm.
because this is set in 1920s Paris. And I had a 15-minute conversation with her, and it's a portrait. And she gave me spells that you can't find in the land. So like it's the inner for me, I feel like it's not an attraction, it's an experience for me. But I'm
All
not a
right.
coaster person.
Rachel, perfect segue into this because I was about to say Rachel's a weenie. Okay. What attractions intimidated you or you were worried about? But then when you did them, you were like, oh, that's not as bad. Like I
Almost
was,
every single one.
there
So
you go.
I had to go to do Epic before the team because I'll admit it, I'm an eldest daughter and I'm a middle child. I can't look weak in front of people. Okay? So I had to go do these by myself so I wouldn't freak out in front of my team. It's fine. Y'all, it's fine. So the ones I was most stressed about was Battle at the Ministry and Monsters Unchained. Because everybody says that Monsters Unchained is exactly like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Well, I can't ride
Mhm.
Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. I get really bad motion sickness on that. and it takes me out for the whole day. So I was texting two of my friends that have ridden it. I'm like, tell me I'm like, I need you to tell me exactly what this ride is like. And she's like, she kind of explained it to me, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try it. We'll see how I feel. Because if I don't feel good that day, I'm not going to do it. So I actually did Battle at the Ministry first, and she made the mistake of saying it's like Tower of Terror plus Star Tours. And those are the two rides I do not ride at Hollywood Studios. And I'm like, so she's like, well, it's not, it's more like Star Tours than Tower of Terror. So like, and I'm like, well, I get motion sickness on Star Tours. So I do it because it's early entry and there's like a 10-minute wait. So I do it. And the girl in the sitting next to me, I'm like, if I grab your arm, I'm really sorry. I'm very nervous. And she's like, it's okay. It doesn't actually drop you. I'm like, oh, okay. So I had my motion sickness band on and I actually turned it off because she was right. Like there was one scene where we were dropping. I just closed my eyes and I was like, oh, we're not actually moving. Okay,
Mhm.
this is fine. There was only one part that kind of triggered me, and this always triggers me, is like when you go from looking at things to a
Yeah.
3D screen. Like that
Yes.
that's tough for me. So like that happens at the very beginning. So once I got through with that, it was fine. I got off, I texted my friend, I was like, I survived. And I was like, well, I'm still stressed about Monsters Unchained, so I'm going to save that to later in the day. So it had like a 10-minute wait later in the day. So I went on. Um, and everybody said it's like Harry Potter for Forbidden Journey. And Charles made this point, I think on our other pod. The pre-show has Igor flinging the ride vehicle around,
Yes.
flinging
Yes.
it. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God. I'm having like a mini panic attack in the line because I'm like, I can't do that. Ah! So I get on, and it's like a slow version of Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So like where Harry Potter flings you back and flings you forward, this one like
Mhm.
eases you back and eases you forward. So like I feel the ride system is the exact same, but it's smoother and slower, and that's the biggest difference. And less screens and higher quality screens.
Higher quality screens. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Charles made me go on, what was it?
Hiccup swing glide.
Okay, Hiccup Swing Gliding. Because it looked like a scary roller coaster, but really it's like a plus version of Slinky Dog.
Mm, yeah.
So I rode all the only thing I didn't do was Curse of the Werewolf and Stardust.
And
I
Curse of the Werewolf. I'm not even doing Curse of the Werewolf.
didn't well,
I
because
can't
it spins.
spins, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I can do it.
Yeah, it's
I
like
can do it.
teacups
I can,
on a roller coaster.
I can do that.
Okay. So yeah, those were the two I was most stressed about, and those were the two that I was like, oh, these are totally fine. So now I can ride. There's only two rides that I can't ride instead of I thought like half of them. So look at
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And
All
it's
right.
funny. The story with Rachel was really funny because we were rope dropping. We were in line of security, and we're like trying to figure. Okay, we're going to Isle of Burke first, right? And we're like all agree. And I asked Rachel, "Are you going on Hiccups?" And she's like, "No, I'm not doing Hiccups." And I'm like, "No, it's the coaster." And she's like, "Oh, I thought it was the one that where you're twirling the kite." I'm like, "No, no, it's not that one. I won't do that one either because you're spinning. No, it's the coaster." And she's like, "Okay, what would you compare the coaster to?" Knowing Rachel, I was like, if I
You're-
say something, if I overshoot it, she's not gonna ride it.
yeah.
So I said, "Oh, it's like Seven Dwarfs. It's a family ride. It's a family coaster. You're fine."
No, you said
And,
Slinky Dog. You said Slinky Dog.
yeah, I said Seven Dwarfs, and then I said Slinky Dog. I'm like, it's like both of them. It's like that level of a ride. So she's like, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it." But it's in truth, it's more intense. It is more intense, but it's still a great ride because like the theming and
It was fun.
yeah, the atmosphere of it, and it's not crazy like it's the intensity is more intense than those two coasters, but
It's
it's not
it's
like
close to
Like Big Thunder,
Hagrid's. No, it's closer to like Hagrid's.
closer to Hagrid's.
yeah.
Yeah, except it doesn't go backwards and it doesn't drop.
Hmm.
So kind of like Everest. But Everest also goes
No,
backwards.
Everest has a huge drop. No, that's
And
why
it goes backwards, so yeah.
it
I
kind of is
mean,
just like Hagrid's, except for those two aspects.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mhm.
yeah. And I like
All
Hagrid's.
right. I love Hagrid's. It's one of them. I mean, no notes. Perfect
No.
coaster. Let's move on to our second favorite topic, which is food. We're not going to spend a long time here because these two guys could talk for 2 hours about food, and I'm
Mhm.
going to move them along.
Thank you.
Which restaurant or quick service became your favorite? Like, this is your hands down, this is your favorite spot to eat at Epic.
I haven't eaten enough to say that, but
Okay.
I will say that the mac and cheese cones are like they're solid. Like Cozy Cone is trash compared to this, so I would eat there again. I also like the garlic breadstick.
Oh, from
That's at the Burning Blade.
Yeah, at the Burning Blade.
Yeah.
I need to eat more to give you a definitive, but I think between the two of us, we've eaten at all of the food locations and nothing I ate I didn't like.
yeah.
Yeah.
The I'd say the cone. So last year I tried the plain one, and it like I think, and like I said on last year's pod, it was a solid mac and cheese cone. But if you get one of the two specialty ones, those
PB&J.
are they're legit. They are definitely better, and I'm glad I tried that one. You guys got the pulled pork when I got the chicken. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. It's so good. So it levels up from the plain one. So if you're scared of like the flavor and like intimidated, and it's not spicy. The one like they
No, not
like
spicy.
spicy crunched
Hot
cheese
Cheetos.
on top. Yeah, and
Mm.
they're not spicy at all. So don't be scared of that. I think overall, I tried more this trip too, and I think still if I'm narrowing down to one spot, it's probably Pizza Moon. I still think Pizza Moon is probably my top, but it's so close because there are so many good food spots.
Hmm.
There been anything that was just surprisingly bad?
We kind of all know this is gonna come up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Charles has a reel. You did a reel
yeah,
about it. I loved how you edited it, by the way, how it was like spooky and then yeah. The Blue Dragon was trash.
yeah.
Our server was not, but I told the team, like, if I have good service, the food's gonna be bad. Sorry, guys, we had great service. We even gave him a cast compliment. Blue Dragon, not it.
Yeah, not it. It's disappointing, very disappointing, and I'm at fault for myself for hyping it up in my mind and having my expectations so high. But just that being someone who is so used to like Asian cuisine and like what is good Asian cuisine, that's not it. Now, like I can see if other people are going to enjoy it. Plus like it's a nice restaurant. The theming as well. This was well done, but it's average Asian cuisine food. It's
It
very,
it felt it fell flat for me, and I don't love Asian food like you do. And it Animal Kingdom Asian food is better.
yeah, yeah. So.
All right, let's get into a little strategy. We've touched on a bunch of this, because it's just so hard for us to not talk strategy because it's literally our job. It's our job. So what advice would you give to families trying to tackle Epic Universe for the first time? Like, what are the biggest, most important things if you were
If
starting to
if you're
plan
not
an
doing
Epic?
early entry, you're silly. So so
Agreed.
so you better be staying on site. Like we're under the assumption that you're staying on site, okay? Because at Universal, why would you not? So you're staying on site. So you have an hour of early entry. Um, the only issue I have with early entry is they don't tell you currently what attractions are open for early entry, so it's kind of a guessing game. So our strategy was fluid. Um, I hate giving y'all this strategy because it pains me, but meeting Toothless during early entry was a game changer.
Yeah.
We waited what, 15 minutes?
Yeah. 15.
And then the rest of the day it was never below an hour. So,
But y'all were able to do that because y'all had
well,
Express.
and I was gonna wait for you to ask the question, but
yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna roll you into it.
um
Like the only
I,
reason you're meeting characters during early entry is because you had
right, we had Express and you can do Epic without Express. You can, but you're not going to get to experience Epic in the way that we did because we even felt like we didn't get to do Epic the way we wanted. Like we didn't get enough of the I only got to cast 2 spells. Excuse you, how offensive is that?
the horror.
The horror. So that just tells you like we rode a lot. We rode almost every single attraction. I think there was like one that we didn't ride, but we also did 2 shows. We also met Princess Peach. We also met Toothless. Like we did a lot, and we would not have been able to do that if we did not have Express.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is. Do
For
you agree,
those of
girls?
y'all who may not know what we're talking about, Universal skip the line system is called Express Pass. There's two different versions, regular Express Pass, where you can skip the line for every ride one time. Every ride that's included, there are a couple ones that are not included. And then there is Express Pass, what's it called? Unlimited, where you
Mhm.
can ride as many rides as you want to. Like if you want to just stand in line for the same ride over and over and over, you can. So that is what Express Pass is if you've never watched any of our Universal planning videos before.
Well, and Express is included for the two shows too.
Oh, nice. The
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
shows too.
Hmm.
That's really
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really nice. So like we literally used it for everything. Yeah.
Mhm. What mistakes are you thinking people are making these days when they are planning these epic focused universal vacations without our help, which is, of course, number one mistake you're going to make is not using our services. But
I think piggybacking off of what we were just talking about, I think it is a mistake not to get Express Pass for Epic. It is a mistake. We tracked. We're gonna have Alonzi's gonna have a reel coming out soon, because we tracked the time that we used and how much we saved by using Express Pass. And kid you not, it is ginormous,
Mhm.
especially for the major rides. So I
Mhm.
think off the top of my head, I think overall we saved over 6 hours. So
Mhm.
think
wow.
about 6 hours of taking away from doing stuff at Epic. So even though you can do Epic without Express Pass, I'd say it's a huge mistake not to.
Mm,
Well, speaking of Express, it's a mistake to think that it's included with hotels. So
yeah,
it's Express Pass Unlimited is included at Royal Pacific, Hard Rock Hotel, and Portofino Bay. It's only for Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. It is not for Epic, and according to our team at Universal, it will never be included for Epic. And I mean it makes sense. Like it's the hotels are owned by Lowe's, they're not owned by Universal, so like it makes sense. It will never be included. So that's a bummer, but
it
if
is.
you're under the assumption that you're going to have expressway staying at hotels, don't, don't.
Yeah.
Instead, stay at Helios. So Helios doesn't include Express Pass, period. So you're not going to be under the false assumption that you're getting Express Pass included because it doesn't include it, period. But Helios is the hotel that is connected to Epic Universe. It has its own private entrance. It's for resort guests only. I did stay there to experience it. Look, I was pissed off about the price point. I'll just say it. I was mad about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I got to the park at 8:30 when the team was staying at Cabana Bay. We got to the bus stop at 8. And so like I already saved 30 minutes. When we got loaded into the park, we were loaded right at the entrance to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So we
Nice.
were the first people to get on Battle of Ministry because when Charles and the team and we went when we were staying at Cabana Bay, they held us by Starbucks at the front of the park. So we still had a couple minutes to
Mm,
walk, whereas if I was staying at Helios, I was first. So Battle of the Ministry is one of the longest wait times. I was on and off in 15 minutes. And then
nice.
I didn't do this. I could have immediately gone and done another ride. I went and cast spells because that's what I wanted to do. Um,
You literally just made me snort because I mean,
that's what I wanted to do. But I could have immediately gone over and met Toothless because my cart madness was down. But like I could have done something else because I was on and off so fast. Yeah.
any other mistakes? Anything else y'all think people are just not thinking about while planning?
Yeah, not
I
realizing
think
that Epic is across the dang freeway. Epic is
100,
not
100%.
at the same campus, which is not a big deal, but it is when you're like, oh, I'm at Hard Rock and I can just walk. No,
No.
Nope.
you're gonna be hit by so many cars because you got like a 2 mile walk. You're gonna be flattened. So good luck. It is not at the campus where all the other parks are because it can't. There's no space. RIP.
Do y'all think that Epic Universe is easier or harder to navigate than the existing Universal parks?
100% easier.
Easier?
Easier.
Why? What makes it easier?
Listen, the spoken wheel is a classic theme park design and it works for a reason.
Love it.
I get
Hmm.
lost, I go where the fountain is, and I look around. Also, like having the portals does make it so easy because I can just go where the fountain is and be like, where? Oh, there.
Mhm.
And I just
There.
look for the portal because the portals all have
Mhm.
like a tall,
Yeah.
I don't, what?
Like a
Pole?
focal
A
point.
monument, like a monument kind of thing. Like it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I can just so even if you like you can't see the actual portal, you can see the little like statue thing.
Hmm.
Yes. So much easier to navigate. It's smaller too. I think it's smaller. Do you think it's smaller, Charles?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It might not be smaller, but it might feel smaller because the layout is so
Right.
good. You know?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's a good point. Like I don't have to walk through four lands to get to the one that I'm looking
Yeah.
for. I just
Yes.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because like Magic Kingdom, you can just
Yeah.
cut across the hub.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. One last question about planning and strategy. What is the one thing that you wish people knew before going to Epic Universe?
Oh, for me, 100% is that Epic is so much more than about the rides. Like the first time I went, I had no understanding of what that park was. And I thought it was just fine. Also, it was August and I hate being hot. So like it was a struggle being there anyways. But this time I kind of knew a little bit more about the parks and interacting with the ambiance cast members, doing the interactive elements in the parks is so that's where the park really comes to life because at the end of the day a ride is a ride. Okay,
Mhm.
that ride could be anywhere and it would still be a great ride, but I'm so glad they did not take away. I was so worried they were going to take away like the Vikings and Igor because they went viral on TikTok, and you know what
Yeah.
happens when characters go viral. RIP Tally the Elf. But
Yeah.
they're still there, and I hope that continues to be the case because that it's magic. I mean, who was super excited to meet the Vikings was Julia, and I was like, Julia wants to meet the Vikings? What? Okay. Like you don't know what's gonna get people excited until
Yeah.
it happens, and then you're like, oh, this is magic. Like talk to a portrait for 15 minutes? What?
This is the difference that makes the difference with Disney and Universal between Six Flags, Cedar Point versus
Mhm.
Disney and Universal and the experiences they are bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Charles, what do you think people should know?
It's pretty much that. Like, and I said it last year too. When I said it in one of my reels. I think when I was about to leave the park. It's just Epic. There's so much to do. It's a well balanced park. So even though like the rides are may be geared toward adults and bigger kids, like there's still stuff for you to do. And even if you're not into rides, there's still stuff for you to do. And there's great food to be had almost everywhere in the park. So like it capitalizes on mistakes and deficiencies that Universal's OG parks have, and I'm so glad that they did because you know, it's it just shows their willingness to improve and do things differently to make the experience better. So like it's such a well balanced park. That's what it is. So don't just go there for the rides. Exactly what Rachel said. Don't just go there for the rides. Enjoy a bit of everything, and you won't regret it.
Well,
Follow up question.
I was
Um,
just gonna tag on like the day that I went to the parks without you guys, I only did two rides. And I was at the park from open to close. And I had a
yeah.
great day. I was not sad at all about any of my decisions, and I only rode two rides.
Yeah.
My follow up question to that, and Charles, you said it with, the height requirements. People are thinking this is a park for big kids. This is a park for adults. Would you, because I don't know how tall Grayson is, I don't know what he fits on, but was there plenty for him to do as being a younger kid versus, like 8, 9 preteen?
Yep,
Yes,
Grace,
like I said,
remind us how old Grayson is so people
Yeah.
know
he's
how old
five.
Grayson is.
He's 5 years old. He's 43.5 inches, something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's about to turn 6. So, would it have been a little bit different if he was like an infant, like 1 to 3 years old? Yeah, it probably would be different. So that's a little bit that's a little bit too young. Because like even with the stuff for that are geared towards kids, they might not be able to comprehend. But with his age range, where he knows what Super Nintendo World is and Mario and all the Donkey Kong, that IP, and even if it's not just that, like if your kid loves um one of the other stuff like at Isle of Berk, like they love How to Train a Dragon, or if they love Harry Potter, or if they love the monster stuff like that, they're going to enjoy going into those portals. There's going to be a lot for them to do at all their portals, so it's maybe not so much Dark Universe. I think that's where like that's why I kind of wanted more, but still they're going to enjoy it still. So I do think if you still have a young kid, they can't get on all the rides, they're still going to be able to do stuff and enjoy it.
Mhm.
Got it. All right. The age-old question. And we've alluded to it a little bit, comparing Disney and Universal. All
As
right.
well.
Do y'all think that Epic has changed the Disney versus Universal conversation? Is Universal more of a competitor now than they were?
Yeah, I don't think it's enough, but yes. Before Epic, no. Before Epic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like to be fair, this is where it is and it's hard because if we had Amanda on, she would have a completely different take on this.
Yeah.
But all of us prefer Disney, and that's fine. Like I was, asking the team while we were there, like, who do you think Universal is for? And Charles, you made an interesting comment. You're like, well, clearly lots of people love Universal because these parks are busy. And I'm like, yes. Universal is, it's a different client than Disney, and it's just a different clientele. But I think Epic stepped their game up, stepped
Mhm.
Universal's game up, and if they keep that level of park integrity, because my issue with Universal is they don't have the same attention to detail with everything that Disney does.
Yes.
And that's my problem is the immersion, the attention to detail, and the maintenance. Like we were in Seuss Landing, and like that area needs a paint job. Come on.
Uh, did y'all ride Cat in the Hat lately?
No,
Oh,
no.
Oh,
want
it's
to?
so bad.
Right.
It's so bad. And that
So
was
like
2 years ago. I haven't been in 2 years.
maintenance, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like if so we time will tell with how they keep Epic up and what they add because Epic, like Hollywood Studios, doesn't have a lot, doesn't have enough. I think it needs more. But then it's hard to compare it because Magic Kingdom has like 30 attractions.
Yeah.
And if we're getting into that conversation, and remember, I have not been to Epic yet, but I really do enjoy Universal Orlando. I really, really do. And I think that they should pause Epic where it is right now and then go take that energy that they had from Epic and put it into Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios because we know y'all can do it. Go fix the stuff
Go
that's
fix it.
Okay.
broken over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that like people, yes, will always complain about like updates and closures at Disney World, but that's what keeps it up to date. Like that's what
Yes.
keeps it like
Yes.
going, and that's one of the big things. And you notice it. Like I've been to Universal plenty of times when I was younger, so I have something to compare it to. And when I went back to the Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, I noticed a difference. It's like this is like the same stuff. Like outside of Harry Potter world, like and all that
Harry
land
Potter
obviously
changed the game for
it
everybody.
changes for yeah for everyone. But like if you go outside of that, it's just like this stuff hasn't been updated,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm on the same stuff in a bad way that I was when I was a kid, and like I need
Simpsons.
yeah.
Well,
So
and we had that conversation walking through the comic book land. Like we were saying, nobody knows what these comic books are. Even for us as millennials, it's a stretch. Your son for sure doesn't know who olive oil is, and
yeah yeah
Yeah. That was a history lesson for my kids. Every time we go, I have to explain who these
Mhm.
people are. And I'm an elder millennial. People younger than me do not know.
yeah
Yeah.
I
no
mean,
and
even us, we don't really know. Like I didn't really read Sunday comics outside of like there was two that I read. So like
Mhm.
I don't even really have reference points for these. Like Betty Boop, I know who that is, and Popeye, I know who that is. But the rest of
yeah
them, I'm like, I have no idea.
yeah and I think I mentioned this when we were talking during the trip, Rachel. Universal is so IP driven with their parks, which is
Hmm.
like, which to me is fine, but
Hmm.
at the same time, what what makes it easier for guests going to Walt Disney World is that you know what a Disney IP is. You know, like, okay, like Cinderella, that's Disney, blah blah blah. You know what that is. If I were to average person, if I were to tell you this IP, would they be able to tell you that it's Universal? No, usually not. Like they because of that, it's harder for them to draw them into a park where they don't know what these things are. So, you have to be able to keep them there once you get them there. And so you have to update the park. And I just think that with Universal and Disney, I don't think it's ever going to be possible for Universal to ever catch up to Disney. But before Epic, it was a big gap. I think that gap has significantly been narrowed, 100%. And I think
Yeah.
that Universal can continue to keep that gap close. But they have to do what Rachel said, all the little things with maintenance. And to be honest, they could really use an update when it comes to even their team members and guest experiences. Like, we all agree the reason why there's so much magic in Disney World is because of the cast members,
Hmm.
their service and how they make everyone there feel like they're so important. It's not as consistent with Universals. Like you'll come across awesome team members, 100%. We like our waiter at Blue Dragon was one of them. So you come across them. It's just that on a consistent basis, it's that level of customer service or guest service is not as consistent as it is with Disney. So
Well,
even something like
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say not consistent. I would say their team members are fine. Like
Mhm,
they're not rude, but they're not
Mhm.
Disney nice. They're
Yeah.
just
mhm,
they're happy to be where they're working. They give you what you expect, but I
mhm,
wouldn't say it's like an above and beyond situation. So like
Yeah.
if you compare the two, yes, you're gonna feel let down. But
Correct.
if you only know Universal, then you're gonna be like, oh no, these cast members are
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're
But
totally
that's the
fine.
thing. Like,
I've
yeah.
never had
or
a
if you've
bad
been to
interaction with a
Six
cast.
Flags. I mean, you got to compare apples to apples. Like Six Flags, everybody's rude, everybody's this. You go to Universal, you're like, oh, they're
Oh,
so
they're
nice.
nice. Yeah.
You've never been
Yeah.
to Disney, so you don't know about that high
Yeah.
hospitality
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's the thing. Like, if you're going to say like, okay, has Universal closed the gap with Disney? Then those things have to be compared. Like,
mhm.
okay, you want to get on Disney's level, you got to improve these things. But they are. It's a great part. But yeah, continue to close that gap. You got to do that stuff.
I mean, that's a slippery rabbit hole because I do feel like Disney lets guests behave bad behavior. It
That's
enables it too
true.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the cast members take the brunt of that, and the cast members get
Mhm,
worn out way faster at Disney because Disney does
mhm,
enable bad behavior. Universal, I feel like more by and large doesn't tolerate that
hmm
and empowers their cast members to not tolerate that. So
100. Yes. Yeah.
like it's such a slippery slope, but like I do agree with you. Like it's funny because Disney's not a hospitality company and they're not who I would say is a leader in hospitality. However, I would say they're a leader in creating an experience.
yes.
Yes.
And I do like that Epic is putting pressure on that.
hmm
Before they weren't. So Epic is putting
Mhm,
pressure on Disney to create better experiences. So I'm excited to see what that's going to do for the Villains Land that's coming to Magic Kingdom.
yep.
Yeah.
That, like when we saw Josh Tomorrow touring Epic, I was like, it's on.
Hmm.
It's on. Like they are about to have the theme park wars
Which
in
good.
real
Like
time, and we get to see it.
I hope that Epic never overtakes Disney because I hope Disney is
Mhm,
constantly like, oh God, Epic did this. Now we have to like I hope
yeah,
it's still like begrudgingly, oh dang, they did this really amazing thing. Now we got to do better.
because we win.
Yeah.
We as the consumer
Yes. Yeah.
win
Yeah.
when they compete with each other like
Yeah.
this. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm
Hmm.
here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
Charles, I totally agree with you. Like I don't think Universal will ever close the gap because they have so much that's not being done right now that they'd have to fix that they're just so far behind the eight ball
Yeah.
with a lot of like the maintenance and the little stuff.
Yeah.
But as long as you keep challenging Disney and
Hmm.
pushing Disney to be better, that's just great for us.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think that with with both of them, I think it's just making sure that when we're telling our clients about it, how all these differences from the parks to the hotels, the stays, like we have to make sure we can articulate and make sure they know how they each of them do each thing differently. It's doing a hotel stay at Universal is different from how Walt Disney World does their
Night and
resorts.
day.
So it's night and day. So absolutely, it's very important. I think that when it comes to closing the gap, one of the things that people always say is about Disney is like, okay, they opened the Epic Universe, Disney's got to come up with a fifth park. They
No,
don't
please
have
don't.
to.
Please
They
don't.
don't have to. They have four parks.
I
There's
want one.
this is so the Epic is Universal's third park. It's not their fourth park. It's not their fifth park.
Right.
So it's not about Disney adding another park. It's about them continuing to be like, okay, let's improve on the parks that we have now. Hence why you
Mhm.
have Villains Land opening up. Why you have they're
Islands of
making
Americas. I'm so excited about that at Animal
yes.
Kingdom. So
So yeah,
excited.
like
Same.
constantly changing and updating. I think that's fine. There's so to anyone who says Disney has to open a fifth park because they have Universal's Epic Universe, that's
No.
not the case. They don't have to do that. They just have to continue to add on to what they have.
Hmm. Exactly.
Y'all got anything else to add? I think
It
we've covered it.
No, the only thing I want to add is it's nice to like full be able to full chest recommend Epic Universe.
Hmm.
Like I now that we've really been able to spend a lot more time. Granted, I'm always going to default to Disney. Okay, I'm always like that's going to be my preferred destination just because that's my preferred destination. But
Yes.
I'm going back, I'm going to Disney in July. And I'm like, oh man, going to Epic would be nice. Like
Yeah.
Epic does have my attention, and
Hmm.
previously it did not, and it has my kind of full undivided attention. So it's nice. I wholeheartedly recommend it. Which
Yeah, it's one of those like I forget who I heard say this is the average guest. They go to Orlando for a Disney vacation, and Universal is usually just like a stopover. But now with Epic, I think with time, and not I'm not saying like a long time from, I'm saying like now, as it goes, I think guests are going to start to be like, okay, I want an Epic Universe
Mhm.
vacation. I'm that's going to be a priority for them
Well,
now, as similar to how Disney World is
y'all
when
know
that.
the one thing we have not mentioned the entire time, which I know this focus was epic, right? We have not mentioned Volcano Bay, but we got a whole podcast coming on Volcano Bay and why that should be included in your Universal trip because
Mhm.
they
It's
have four
good.
parks.
I was about to say, like,
Volcano Bay
technically
is a
they do
theme
have
park.
four theme parks, and we did do
Yeah.
Volcano Bay, and our next episode is going to be on Volcano Bay. And I'm very excited to like dedicate time to that because it needs its own
Yeah.
time. But so does Epic, because
Yeah.
there's so many intricacies with Epic, and I'm glad I'm glad that's what we did. I think the team had a great. I feel like we had a great time, even though it was so hot.
We did. Oh, we absolutely did. And plus, we were smart about it. We, during the peak hot hours of the day, we were inside most of the time. So another strategy for those who are
I know
listening.
there's so much more that we could talk about, but we are running short on time. So if Epic Universe is on your radar for 2026 or beyond, we're still waiting for 2027 packages, by the way. Any day now. This is the year to go while the experience is still fresh and the planning details actually matter. Schedule a planning session or request a proposal with us. All of our links are going to be in the show notes. We've been there multiple times and we will make sure that you do it right. So until next time, bye.
Bye.